Hi, everyone. I'm Barry Stagner, and this is his channel Newsbreak. U.S. President Donald Trump said this week that in Syria, we're leaving 200 people there and 200 people in another place in Syria closer to Israel for a period of time. At present, the U.S. military is not positioned anywhere near the Syrian-Israeli border, and Trump also said that the last of the ISIS stronghold here will be gone by tonight. Next week, Trump will meet Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. Netanyahu will be in Washington to speak at the annual AIPAC conference, where the new Blue-White Party leader, Benny Gantz, will also deliver a speech. The Gaza Strip has been roiled by protest against the enclave's high cost of living as the population is driven to a breaking point by 12 years of Hamas authoritarian rule. Hamas, recognized as a terrorist group internationally, has controlled Gaza since 2007 with devastating economic consequences for the enclave's 2 million people. Now the group is accused of violently cracking down on Palestinian demonstrators and journalists rallying against the disaster. I condemn the Hamas violence in Gaza against protesters, women, children, journalists, and human rights activists, read a Sunday statement by Nikolai E. Mladenov, the UN Special Coordinator for the Middle East peace process. The Palestinian Center for Human Rights, a group that normally condemns Israel against their actions against the Palestinians, similarly criticized the crackdown, saying that peaceful demonstrators were being arrested in their homes merely for protesting the high cost of living. Unlike the Palestinian Authority, which governs the West Bank and opposes Hamas ruled in Gaza, Hamas remains devoted to the destruction of Israel and its replacement with an Islamic theocratic state. This, along with Hamas' open and sustained backing of terrorist activity, has kept Gaza within a strict blockade maintained by both its Israeli and Egyptian neighbors. After 12 years, the end result has been a youth unemployment rate of more than 70%. A recent World Bank report said the enclave's economy is in free fall under the slogan, "We want to live." The protests are the biggest challenge to Hamas rule since 2007. We're not political, and we don't want to change political systems. We just want to get our rights, one of the organizers, Mauman al-Natur, said in a Facebook post, according to the BBC. In a widely circulated video reportedly taken from the center of one of the Gaza protests, a Palestinian mother can be heard complaining that her children have lost 12 years of their lives. My sons aren't working. My husband is not working. The entire country's not working, she said. A son of a Hamas official is 20 years old, owns an apartment, has a car, a Jeep, a building, while our sons have nothing at all. The protests have been met with swift crackdowns from Hamas officials, with videos posted to social media showing Palestinian security forces using tear gas, beating protesters, and raiding homes. Meeting visiting U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Wednesday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called on the international community to recognize Israeli sovereignty over areas of the Golan Heights. Just last week, we uncovered efforts by Hezbollah, an Iranian proxy, to build a military network in Syria in the Golan Heights. All of you could imagine what would have happened if Israel were not in the Golan. We would have Iran on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, Netanyahu said at a joint press conference with Pompeo. Well, again, we know that Israel is going to be the focal point of the world, specifically Jerusalem, during the tribulation, this giving us today's reminder to keep looking up.